Why is the insurance industry the best opportunity to be in for entrepreneurs in 2024?
Dude, I had no idea what this would become 3.5 years ago. I mean, we're on an absolute hockey stick growth trajectory.
How do we allow individuals to do that with Pinnacle?
We're saving them millions of dollars.
And to put it simply, I mean, by far the best opportunity out there, doesn't matter what you're selling, is virtual sales.
When you are building in that environment, your number one enemy is retention.
So when people think about insurance, they think of classic MLM, recruit all your friends and family, then sell them a policy.
Think about that. Are these companies dumb? They're not dumb. They're not confused. They're not thinking about the agent at all.
Why is Pinnacle the best, and why are we the fastest growing?
You want to know that on the bad days, your business partners, your mentors have your back.
What makes a person a good fit with Pinnacle? All right, what's going on, guys? Here with the CEO of Pinnacle, Joe Basso himself. Joe, how are we doing today?
I don't think I could be any better, man. I always love being in Prosper headquarters here. Always love spending time with you. So it's been a great day, grinding out some good things.
Yes, likewise. And I just wanted to hop on here real quick and talk about why Pinnacle. But before we get into that, why is the insurance industry the best opportunity to be in for entrepreneurs in 2024?
There's so many reasons. I get this question all the time, and I think people know that I was in other industries and then found this one. And by the way, you call it God, call it luck, call it providence, call it whatever you want. I think it's unreal that I was in the solar industry, and right now we're on an absolute hockey stick growth trajectory, and we're absorbing a lot of big solar groups.
Correct.
Big solar groups. And dude, I had no idea what this would become 3.5 years ago when I got involved. And I feel so blessed to have found it when I did, because dude, we got a 3.5 year head start to build the platform, build the resources, the tools, the culture, what Pinnacle is today. And it's allowing a lot of these other groups to come in, plug and play. So what is it about the industry? I think it's quite a few things. If you can sum it up simply in an elevator pitch, it lets good entrepreneurs that like direct sales, whether they're coming from door to door, whether they're coming from a setter closer model, whatever the case might be, it lets them hone in and focus on all of their strengths, and it eliminates all the things that they hated about the other industries that they were in. So I've always been a firm believer, if you're great at something, spend all your time, all your focus on what you're great at, and then surround yourselves with people that are essentially going to be good at the things that you're bad at.
Correct. How do we allow individuals to do that with Pinnacle?
Yeah, I think at this point, I'm really proud to say our platform has gotten to the place where onboarding, contracting, systems structure, our promo chart, our comp build, it's all built out to the place where people can come in, and that's scratching the surface. We can dive into leads, dive into the CRM, dive into all the things that these groups can kind of come in day one with their network, plug in immediately. We're saving them easily 12 to 18 months in building all that stuff out, millions of dollars. And they're able to plug in right away and grow that much faster, hit the ground running. What that's doing for their cash flow is unbelievable. So where I had to come in and spend a ton of time and a ton of money creating the platform that we have today, these other groups are piggybacking on it. And with their own merit, they're adding great things. I don't want to take any credit for what some of these groups are doing, like you, within our organization. But it's given people a head start to the cash flow that I didn't have. And that's a gift that I'm really excited that we're able to give to a lot of these incredible entrepreneurs coming in.
Absolutely. And we see these new groups coming in, these big sales organizations, and like Zenith, for example, and just building it that much faster.
Yeah.
Because exactly what you said, it's a plug and play. And to put it simply, 2024, by far the best opportunity out there, doesn't matter what you're selling, is virtual sales.
100%.
You should be selling virtually.
Yeah, if you're not, you are way more inefficient than you realize.
Correct. Exactly. And then you combine that with the technology we have. We'll touch on the CRM here shortly. I mean, you combine that with leads and the lead availability. I mean, there's never been a higher demand for leads in life insurance than in 2024.
Never.
Just with COVID, everything else going on. And then on top of that, just being in a stable industry where, more than likely, well, we're overdue for a recession. I don't think that's a secret.
It's not a secret.
It's not a secret. And you look at how the insurance industry has performed every recession we've ever had. 2008 thrived. .com bubble thrived. And just being an industry that's stable where, I mean, if like World War III broke out, our sales would go through the freaking roof.
100%.
People would need more life insurance than ever. So
it's a unique industry in that when a lot of other things economically are not going well, this industry booms. So what I've heard from a lot of people that are coming in and they're talking to me, like high level conversations, like, dude, the thing that kind of kept me from insurance all these years, we always thought it was an MLM and it was a little bit boring and a little bit this, a little bit that. And I'm like, dude, that's the beauty of this. What is boring tends to be incredibly stable. So if you take the incredible skill set that you honed in on and the culture, the camaraderie, the ability to get a sales force ripping quickly that a lot of these groups have, like, dude, you've done door to door, I've done door to door. When you are building in that environment, your number one enemy is retention. It's so hard to keep people on the reservation because what they do every day sucks. Like, a lot of these people are having to literally relocate in order to go knock doors in either Arizona or Texas or somewhere where they're in 120 degrees all day, every day, all summer long, knocking doors, getting yelled at, cussed at, etc. You're able to take those talented people. They're getting paid, dude. Like, they're getting paid incredibly well at Pinnacle. Like, you got these guys that maybe they were $150,000, $200,000 earners in solar or pest or whatever the case might be. With that skill set, dude, they're 2x, 3xing their income quickly, and they're taking away all the things that sucked. So you're taking that, I call it a shelf life. We always joked about it in the solar. It's like, all right, well, so-and-so, I'm going to bet their shelf life is X, right? Which is horrible, but you see the trends. If you have somebody that's extra talented, it's how long are they willing to do what really stinks, what really sucks? How long are they going to be willing to do that? At some point, the suck tends to outweigh the income. Here, dude, whether they're plugging into a local office, working remote, they're able to remove all the things they hated about their day-to-day and earn more income and build passive income. It's kind of like an all-in-one where every time you hop on social media, it's like Airbnb this, passive income through rentals, this, that, the other. Dude, you're able to do all of that actively and passively in this industry with all kinds of verticals. And that's what's attracting the savvy entrepreneurs that are starting to figure out, all right, boring isn't bad. Boring is recession-proof. Boring is passive income, and you solve the retention issue.
Correct. Yeah, and reps are making more money. Managers are making more money. And like you said, Joe, there's longevity.
Yeah.
Where when you're having constant turn as a leader and as a manager building a business, that's exhausting. So,
dude, it is. I'll mention one more thing to that, Jonah, because this is the cherry on top. Not that you need it to make the opportunity great, but at Pinnacle, every single agent and the agency owners, they truly own their own book of business. That's not me saying that. It's in writing. They own their own book of business. So if you own your book of business, that book has a value. Now, with what we're doing on the life side, the health side, the retirement side, the books can vary greatly if it's a single producer versus an agency owner with 100 agents or 200 agents or 1,000 agents. But it's not a 15-year run to build a book of business worth 8 figures, 9 figures. Like, if you're the right individual and you're coming in guns blazing, you can build something worth multi-8 figures in a few years' time. We have people that are unashamedly shooting for 9 figures, and they should be, because it is doable in 4 years, 5 years' time. And that, to me, is the cherry on top, that It's just really hard to attain that in any other industry, period.
1,000%. It's not a business part. You're not a partner. You don't have fake equity. It's true ownership. And I want to touch on that here in a minute. But first of all, talk to us about the difference. Because when people think about insurance, they think of what you said, the classic MLM, recruit all your friends and family, then sell them a policy. How is Pinnacle different from that?
Pinnacle's wildly different from that. So for a very long time, there's 3-letter companies out there that we've all heard of, right? Mm-hmm. That essentially they look at their agents as leads because they don't have leads otherwise, right? Mm-hmm. So if I'm the agency owner that's been around for a bit, right? I'm going to bring you in. I'm going to start you at a crazy low comp, like typically 20%, 30% comp is what was the standard for decades. As bad as that sounds, it gets worse, Jonah. I'm the trainer. I'm looking at you as the lead. I'm going to get you to make me a list of names. Usually I'm talking about the sphere of influence that you have, Jonah. And I want you within your sphere of influence to get me 100 names, friends, family, neighbors, you name it. So that's your only job coming into such and such 3-letter company. And not only are you at a super low comp, but because you're in training, you're only getting a small piece of the small piece because every deal that we close together, I'm taking a giant piece of your already small piece. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. You think about that. Are these companies dumb? They're not dumb. They're not confused. They're not thinking about the agent at all. They're looking at that agent as a farm system to produce more business that they are going to keep the lion's share of all the commission and all the renewals, the residuals, the long-term value of these clients. Does that make sense?
The agents are broke.
Agents are all broke. We talk to them all day, every day. And it's actually a funny thing because you talk to these agents and they're waiting for the like, when's the other shoe going to drop? Because they think our opportunity can't be real because they were dealing with something that was so bad. So when you compare it, it's like, how could that be the case? It is the case. Our motto, people over profit. We want our agents making money. In these MLM structures, you can't make real money unless you recruit. So people are asking me all the time. They're like, hey, well, what makes Pinnacle different from the MLM structures that exist? There's 2 main hallmarks to every MLM. The first one being typically you have to buy something to sell something. Obviously, that's not true in the life insurance space. It is at other companies. A lot of these other companies, dude, their very first step in getting you onboarded is making you purchase a policy or an IUL or some kind of policy so that you can speak more intelligently to your clients. Make sense? The second thing that is true of every MLM, the only way you make any kind of real money is through your downlines. You have to recruit. We have thousands of agents at this point. I hope that everybody recruits, not for my benefit, for their own. Obviously, you recruit, I recruit heavily. We understand the opportunity that we're giving to the people that we're bringing into the business. We want them to win. However, we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of agents that never recruit and are earning multiple 6 figures just selling life insurance. So to me, that's a pretty big difference.
Correct. And I can attest that personally. I did not recruit for the first 1.5 years in this business, and I made deep 6 figures my first year. In addition to that, I've sold over $2 million in premium, issue paid life insurance.
Let's go, dude.
Haven't sold a single friend or family member.
Not one?
Not one.
All right. Maybe you should sell at least some of your friends and family.
Maybe I should hit them up.
Hit them up.
Maybe down the road.
They probably need insurance, dude.
Probably do.
They should buy it from you, not some Joe Schmo.
We got too many leads.
A lot of leads.
Too many families that need our help. So what do we look for? What do we look for in somebody in a successful individual that's looking to, that maybe they're not happy with they're currently at, whether they're in sales, not sales, whatever. What makes a person a good fit with Pinnacle?
As a laundry list, I'll give you a few. I think number 1, coachability. What we do isn't difficult. It's not challenging. We always say it's simple, but it's not easy. Well, what is the not easy part? The not easy part is that it takes a lot of discipline when you're essentially holding yourself accountable. So in a employer-employee relationship, What is the employer's main function? It's you have a job to do, and my job as your employer is to hold you accountable to your 9 to 5 and make sure that you're doing enough activity to make the company some money. That's it. Does that make sense? In this, because you're 1099, the 1099 life, dude, we can't tell you when to show up. We can't tell you how many dials to make, how many leads to purchase. We can't tell you how to run your schedule. We can help you. We can recommend what we know works, and we do. But at the end of the day, it takes real discipline and self-accountability, and that's true in any business at all that's going to be successful. I always use the analogy, if you were to open up a donut shop and every day you open up at a different time, some days you've got donuts, some days you don't, some days you got coffee, some days you don't. Well, the donuts and the coffee are the leads. That's your inventory. That's what you're going to end up selling to produce income. You get it? If you decide that you're going to be all over the map and inconsistent with the money-making activities, you're going to struggle in any direct sales position. That's true here too. Correct. So the very first thing we look at, can you be coachable and can you be disciplined to the few simple metrics that are going to lead to your cash flow? We talk about lead flow and activity. Those are the two things that will lead to your cash flow, period.
1,000%. And I mean, out of all the insurance companies out there, why Pinnacle? Why is Pinnacle the best, and why are we the fastest growing?
I think everybody, when we start talking about this subject, they want to talk about tangible things like lead quality, like compensation rates, the CRMs that we use, the AI that we're using. They want to talk about the bonus programs, the tangible things that are ultimately going to lead to more cash flow. I want to say this, Jonah. I don't disagree that those things are important. Of course they are. To me, those things are a given. If you're a growing, thriving, scaling company, you sure as heck better have some really good systems and structures that are going to enable your salespeople and your agency owners to grow quickly. We have all of that. But if you said to me right now, what is the single greatest thing that separates Pinnacle from everywhere else? I could sum it up with the word culture. So what is culture? And that's an overused word, for sure. But what is culture? To me, culture is you deciding who you're going to be in business with, who's going to be your business partners long term. Dude, it's like a marriage, genuinely. Like, you want to know that on the bad days, your business partners, your mentors have your back. The conversation that I have the most often talking with agents from other companies, it always comes back to failure in leadership and broken promises. What is that a lapse in? It's a lapse in integrity, ethics. You got to be able to keep your word and deliver on the deliverables. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So we have a real serious commitment to every Pinnacle agent. We say what we're going to do.
Yes.
And we do it.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Are all the tangible items important? Yeah. And we are leading the way, doing all of those things as well as we possibly can. We have the top comp in the industry. Look at every single carrier, every single product. We pay as much or more than anybody else in the industry, right? Look at our bonus structure. It's fantastic for our producers. You look at our leads. Do we have some of the best media buyers in the United States? What does that mean? Lead quality is where it needs to be, and we try to keep our costs as low as possible for the agents. Look at our Pinnacle CRM. I think you're in the Pinnacle CRM at this point. It's pretty dope.
It's
pretty dope.
Very.
What does it cost you, Jonah?
Free.
It's free. Why? We're not trying to cash grab these agents at every turn like a lot of other companies do. Dude, a lot of these companies, man, they're charging you for everything. Every little thing is an upcharge, 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 upcharge. To me, that's a conflict of interest. It's a serious conflict of interest. Because if I start looking at you as nothing more than a line item where I can sell and resell and sell and resell, and I'm not picking on the capitalists out there that are making, big money on all their agents and all these ancillary things. But to me, I want to be directly aligned with our agents and our agency owners. What does that mean? It means you get paid when you do what, Jonah?
When I sell a policy.
And you get paid when your agents sell policies.
Correct.
So I think that Pinnacle should get paid the exact same way. So my job is to reduce friction, increase efficiency, and help our agents clearly and simply sell more life insurance, more health insurance, more of the ancillary products, more retirement products, every way possible. And we get paid when they get paid. It's just that simple.
Yeah, very straightforward. Nothing super complex about it. Lastly, Joe, before we wrap up, a lot of agents come in here and they just want a better opportunity for their family. They want financial freedom. They want flexibility. They want to be their own boss. But some people, like you and me, and a lot of other people here, want to build a tangible, scalable, sellable business. Talk to us about the buyout opportunity and the exit plan.
I love it. Here's what's unique. Because you own your own book, people often assume that we have, a particular buyer that has like a first right of refusal to purchase your book. Do we have buyers lined up? Absolutely. Do you and Prosper, do you have to sell to any specific buyer? Absolutely not. It's your book. It's your business. You can sell to whomever you want. What I try to relate to everybody is we've done a lot of due diligence in building the right relationships at a high level. It's not a surprise, I hope, to anybody listening. People like what they're seeing out of Pinnacle right now. Like, they don't see what we're doing at all. Mm-hmm. At all. Mm-hmm. So you better believe the private equity companies, they want in. Of course. I think that's incredible. If you had told me starting out at 24, building my first business, that I had a buyer lined up and all I had to do was X, Y, and Z, and I had the blueprint to build it the right way, the most profitable way, and there was a buyer lined up to give me 7X, 8X, 9X on my EBITDA. Dude, that would have been unbelievable, right? That's what we have today. So our mission, and this isn't for everybody, it's available for everybody, but not everybody is going to separate themselves from the pack and build it the right way, build it ethically with integrity. And that's a separator. People are like, well, why? There's people I know that are bad people and it looks like they're winning. Dude, they're winning short term. They're winning short term. But to win long term, you got to understand this is a relationship game. And while you're listening in and the industry seems vast, it seems large, Jonah, it's not that big. It's not that big.
It's pretty small.
Pretty small industry, and there's only so many carriers. There's really nowhere to run and hide if you're doing bad quality business, you're burning bridges, you're an absolute jerk. That's me saying that nicely because I'm a good Christian man. These are rampant issues that exist, and our goal at Pinnacle is to teach the right entrepreneurs the right way to scale this thing, the right way to be the most profitable. And what does that look like? It's like, dude, I want to go a little bit deep on this topic just for 30 seconds.
Please do.
The companies out there, Jonah, that are trying to get your mind off of spread with some elaborate bonus program, and I'm not calling anybody out on this. There's a lot of companies that do this. Mm-hmm. Why do you think they want you thinking about bonus, and not spread?
Distract you.
It's a complete distraction. And at the end of the day, who controls your money with a bonus program?
The insurance company, the IMO.
The IMO. The IMO FMO does. We don't like those games. I'm not saying we don't do bonuses. Of course we do. We want to reward the people that are growing. But I never, ever, ever, from the inception of Pinnacle, want any of our leaders building to a program that ultimately I control as a CEO.
And how often do those bonus programs typically change?
They change all the time. We've both seen it, like live action in real life. We've watched it happen, and it takes real dollars and real cents out of your income with no questions asked, because who controls it? Not me, not you, the agency owner. So our goal is, hey, how about we put the power into the hands of the entrepreneurs? let you control your spread, let you control really the bottom line of your business. And you never have to worry about someone coming up behind you and pulling the rug out from under you later on in the business. Like that old saying, the goalpost keeps moving. Everybody listening knows exactly what I mean as soon as I said it, because we've all experienced it. Somebody, when I was in the early stages of launching Pinnacle, I was at a dinner, and actually one of the carriers looked across from me. And they said, "We've seen a lot of bad things in this industry. How can we be sure that you're going to stay humble as you guys grow and explode? How can we ensure that you're not going to get greedy and do a lot of the things that we've seen elsewhere?" And my gut instinct was to respond. And then I sat back and I said, that's a really good question, because we're all flesh and blood. And for me to sit here and say to you right now, I promise I'm never going to get greedy. I think you know my character. I think that's probably a fair statement to make with my track record and resume. But here's the better answer. I'm not going to give myself the opportunity at any point in time to control your income. I want you to control your income, and I want you to have zero shadow of a doubt that it's on you. My job is to support, to help, to mentor, to train, to be there for all the things that you need me to be there for, but ultimately to give you the key to the Lamborghini and let you go as fast and as far as you want to go. Does that make sense?
100%. And one of the best pieces of advice I got by one of my mentors, he's worth well over $100 million, older guy, and he just simply said, don't let anyone else control your income but you. Simple as that.
That's great advice.
So, absolutely. Well, Joe, dude, I've been in this industry for 4.5 years now, and I've worked really, really hard, and I've had a decent amount of success, but I have never been more fired up and more motivated and never worked harder than now. And I'm really, really excited to see what the next 12, 24, 36 months look like for Pinnacle.
It's going to be unbelievable, man. I see what's getting loaded up into the hopper right now. Like, people that are watching can't possibly understand the growth that we're experiencing. And every time I'm like, man, it's got to slow down a little bit. It just keeps ramping up because people are seeing the opportunity. They want to be a part of the culture. And if you're listening in, I would say you haven't missed the boat. Jump in. The industry is as fantastic as you're hearing that it is. Get in now. Build something that is scalable. Build something that you can exit and change a lot of lives. You can change the agents' lives. You're going to change tens of thousands of clients' lives. It's a great time to be at Pinnacle.
1,000%. Let's keep striving, keep changing lives, and keep persevering.